Welcome to the Daily Fox Fuel, where we train kingdom-minded creatives, leaders, and builders to become highly skilled craftsmen. Each episode is your spark of strategy, scripture, and straight-up truth to help you walk out your calling with excellence. Now let's get to work. Yo, what's up, Foxes? I want to start off with reminding you that comfort is a high-key killer of calling. Now, we all know we live in a world obsessed with comfort. I'm obsessed with comfort sometimes, honestly. If I were to let my flesh take over and just do everything that my mind, my body wanted to do, it would be comfort. I wouldn't be hitting the gym. I'd be eating a lot of Doritos, a lot of pizza rolls. I would be unhealthy in a lot of ways. But our world is obsessed with this. We're obsessed with ease, with fast, with convenience. I mean, we have stores, and we have a whole category of stores called convenience stores. The idea of being able to go in and get out, easy, quick, fast, and get what you need. But what's crazy about comfort, and is kind of exciting in a similar way, is comfort doesn't grow you at all. Comfort actually keeps you very small. It keeps you very complacent. It keeps you exactly where you're at. It does not stretch you, does not grow you, does not push you. And every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're trading your long-term strength for short-term ease. I think it's important for us to realize that the moments that we're sitting here thinking, well, it'd just be easier to not challenge myself in that area. It'd be easier for me to just do the thing that isn't going to cause me to have to think harder or do better or push further. And I'm not talking about the seasons where, maybe you have to dial it back a little bit. There are seasons in life, maybe, like for me, I think of it in a training regimen. In the gym, I go through 8-week training seasons, and it's the first 7 weeks is basically what's called progressive overload. Every week you're adding weight. And then that 8th week, you dial back down to 60% of your highest weight. That week is hard for me mentally because it's pulling me back into a place of like, okay, well, now lifting is hard. Maybe I'm not as strong, but it's essential for the body to rest. We're not talking about rest moments. I don't want to call them seasons. I want to call them the times of rest that you need. Yes, take those. But that is not the times of rest have a beginning and have an end. They are not a lifestyle. We don't live in this place of lack of challenge and ease of comfort. Jesus's life was everything but. Like, it just wasn't. And he also never called his disciples into comfort. He was actually pretty blunt about it from the beginning. He called them into growth, into risk, into walking on water when the boat felt safer. Like that whole story is wild to think about. Jim Collins, author of Good to Great, has a great quote that I love. The enemy of great is not bad. The enemy of great is good. In other words, the thoughts of settling for good enough is what robs you of the greatness that God has called you into. So, let's take a moment. Where in your life right now, what's hitting you the most right now as you're thinking about it? Maybe there's an area where you're choosing what's easy over what's excellent. And I challenge you to think about that place, that thing. And that's probably the very place that God is inviting you to step out, to stretch, and to grow into. I look back over my life and think about every time I was afraid to step into unease. The times where the comfortable thing would have been to stay where I was at, to just not change, not rock the boat, do what's known, do what's familiar, even if it's hard, just keep doing it, and realizing that, hey, sometimes like sometimes the idea of comfort is harder. It, in the long run, causes more difficulty than if I would have just stepped out. The beginning days of my agency were scary. When I started Black Fox Media, it was like, We walked into it thinking, okay, this is gonna be great. You have the high of everything. And then, a couple months in, we had clients drop us, and it was a scary time. It was tumultuous, honestly. It was not really sure what was going to come next, not really sure where the next client was going to come from. I faced those seasons. I faced months where I didn't get to pay myself, but I paid employees because I had to. Those are scary times. But I look back on those times thinking, wow, I'm so glad I took a step forward. I took a step of faith. I stepped out of the boat and stepped onto the water and trusted God in that season. It's just incredible how we as humans can just settle for the mundane. We can settle for good enough. We can settle for comfort, all because of a little bit of fear surrounding the unknown of uncomfortability. Hey crew, before you jet, make sure you share this episode with a friend and leave us a rating. Thanks for tuning in today. And remember, stay foxy.